sweetie. We haven't seen each other in a while, you know. What kind of friend are you? Where have you been? No, I'm just kidding now. That's definitely my fault. But, girl, I have been hearing voices and they have been saying some weird things to me. Why are you trying to befriend someone who doesn't like you? And now tell me one very important thing. Why don't you even like yourself? Look yourself in the mirror, okay? And now tell me, why don't you like yourself? Everything that is coming to your mind, you write it down. You stop the video, you write it down. You stop our call, you write it down. That's it. Write it down now. Literally, we're here right now because I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do to stop being so goddamn insecure. And I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do, freaking step by step. How are you gonna even, start liking yourself? Tell me, why do you even like yourself? Why? Like, you seeing that gorgeous person in front of that mirror and you're telling her how much she's ugly and how much you hate her? Think of the girl that you saw in the same mirror 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, doesn't matter, 5 years ago. Tell me, why are you telling all those things to her? Why are you telling all those miserable, insecure things to her? What did she do to you? You know what? I'm gonna give you a shock therapy, okay? You have to go to your home. Oh my god, I almost choked with saliva again. I'm training my own life. No, but like really, you gotta go and grab a picture of yourself when you were young, when you were like 5, when you were like 10, when you started being conscious, and when you had all those big dreams, when you weren't insecure, okay? When you were truly authentic and yourself. Even though it hurted, even though maybe you didn't have friends, even though maybe you were arguing with your family, that doesn't matter. Grab that picture and look at this picture and say all these freaking miserable things you're telling to yourself now because your life is so pity, and say that to her. Say that to her. Tell her that all her dreams didn't come true because you were laying in your bed. Because you decide that it's easier to rot in your bed and watch TikToks all day long. Tell her that. How are you feeling now? Exactly. How disappointing can that be? But let's calm down, girl. Let's calm down. Maybe I yelled at you a little bit too much. But let's calm down now. You have the photo, okay? So let's take it slow now. Like, how are you gonna figure that out? How are you gonna make yourself feel better, huh? Why are you feeling insecure? Is that because, I don't know, maybe you hate your hair. Maybe you hate your skin color. Maybe you hate your eyes. Maybe you hate your weight. Maybe you hate your height. First of all, write it down. Write down what you hate about yourself. Write it down. And then tell me, why did you even start hating that? Maybe you were, that 12 years old girl that was minding her business. And someone tell her that, you know what, you're too fat. And now she got insecure. And now we got the reason. Why are you even insecure? Because someone told that 12-year-old girl that she ugly, that she fat. What are you gonna do now? How are you gonna cure that? And that appears to like every single thing that I'm gonna say. How are you gonna heal that? You're gonna simply do the things that you were doing as a child before someone said that to you. You know what? Even if you got fat as a child, there was once a time when you weren't fat. As a child, for example, right? How you were acting. Were you eating intuitively? Maybe, for example, when I got fat as a kid, it wasn't my fault at all. It was because I was so in tune with the food that I wanted to eat. I hated eating. I literally hated meat. I hated meat when I was young. If I hated something, I just wouldn't eat it. I mean, if I hated that sausage isn't going into my belly. It's staying on the plate, and I'm gonna fight for my rights because that pork isn't gonna go inside the vessel. You know what I mean? So I was eating intuitively, and then once upon a time, I was getting I was getting a little bit anorectic when I was a kid. So the people that were taking care of me were doing everything to help it. So, but they were using just those, even let's say, miserable methods to just if you're not gonna eat it, if you're not gonna eat that chicken, I'm just gonna stop talking to you. So for me that was literally, that developed a lot of trauma for me, because now, for example, the time when I scared to be alone is also involve food. So for example, right now I was struggling with binge eating for like 8 years now, 8 or 7, something like that. And I was struggling with binge eating, and I couldn't find the reason why is it even happening. And then I realized, hey, that was happening when you were a child. That's why you have to journal. That's why you do some shadow work, and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. Shadow work, girl, it's gonna hurt. You're gonna cry. You're gonna cry yourself to sleep if you start shadow work. But that's the price you pay for getting better. That's the price you pay for taking the medication. Okay? So you either stay in the place that you are right now in because you're too comfortable. If you're too comfortable and in your own miserability, then just stay there and stop complaining to everybody else. Okay? But if you really want to change, then this is the time when you stay and you fucking listen. Okay? This is the time when you stay and you change something about that. So you grab the journal or your notes and you write it down. What are you feeling insecure about? Okay, now what's the reason? How are you feeling? Why are you feeling that way? Why are you feeling that way? Do you hate your hair? For example, I used to hate my hair because, as a person of color in a completely white European country, right? I was the only person of color in my school. And then I went to high school, and somehow in one of the biggest city, I still was the only person of color in my school. Thousands of students, and I still somehow was the only person of color. And in my perception at that time, I was like, oh my God. Even if I got compliments, I never, I wouldn't say thank you. I would be like, oh my God. I wasn't even able to receive compliments because I was like, you're probably lying. You're just saying that to make me feel better. You probably know that I'm insecure and just saying that to make me feel better. I was sabotaging myself. Like, girl, how pathetic that can be. Okay? What I did was a freaking shadow work. I started writing down, okay, I hate my hair. In Jesus' name, I was writing this like every single day. Every single time I felt like I hate my hair, I would write down I hate my hair. And I gotta calm down, I need to calm down when I'm an adult. I need to calm down. So then I would write why I hate my hair today. Do I hate my hair because I saw all those beautiful white girls with their straight ass hair? And don't get me wrong, I love straight hair. When I was young, I would tell my kidney to get straight hair. Okay? But now I love this. Now I love this hair. This makes me unique. I love this. This is mine. God made me like this for some reason, so I can learn my lessons. And now you can learn them with me. Okay? So I was looking at all the girls and I would feel jealous I would feel jealous that I don't look like this. I would feel jealous that I even can't do anything to look like this. Because, oh my God, I get a perm and then what? Then I have to straighten my hair every single day, and it isn't going to, be as straight as their hair, because this is not natural. Okay, I can get a wig, but so what? It still doesn't feel like my hair because this is not my hair. Of course I can change. I also like wigs. But I, subconsciously still know that this is not me. This is me. This is my real hair, my real skin color. The nails aren't real, of course. But you know what I mean? I wasn't feeling really safe in my body even if I was changing, even if I was doing braids. And now I can do braids and I can feel safe with that. But before I wouldn't do that. Because I wouldn't feel safe with braids, because I would feel like I'm mega freaking imposter. Imposter. Because why would I do those fake hair at that time? I would do that just so people wouldn't look at my natural hair. Because I would feel disgusted by this. And if I feel disgusted by my own hair, don't expect other people to don't feel disgusted also. Okay? If you feel disgusted about yourself, of course you can receive compliments, but you literally can't take them. Your subconscious mind can't take the compliments if you don't feel okay with yourself. Okay? Because when you feel insecure, what your minds do is you can get thousands of compliments. You can make yourself fake, and you can change everything about your body. You can get a lot of plastic surgery. But if you don't feel safe in your own body, no matter how many compliments you would get, you wouldn't feel happy. Maybe you would feel happy for the 5 minutes, but the first time someone wouldn't agree with you, the first time someone will say, you know what? I hate your hair. That doesn't matter that you just heard 10,000 of compliments that people love your hair, but there's that one person that say, I hate your hair. Your mood is gonna be ruined. Your mood is going to be ruined because you don't feel safe with yourself. If one person can kill all the joy from the 10,000 of people that you just heard, then there's something wrong in here. Okay? And you gotta heal that. Because this is just sad, okay? This is just sad to live your life so miserably that you need the approval from other people, and the first person that steps in and say no, you're like, yes, you're right. Girl, step your ground, okay? Step your ground. And you know what you need to do is step that ground for the little girl inside you, okay? Nobody's going to do this Nobody is going to do this for you. Your parents, they're gonna die one day. Your grandparents, they're gonna die one day. Your friends, maybe y'all won't stop talking. Maybe y'all will stop talking at some point. Maybe you don't even talk with your family. That doesn't matter, okay? But at some point, even the people that you love are gonna leave. Maybe you will leave faster than them. That doesn't matter. But at some point, you will be alone. And at some point in your life, you'll be completely alone. And what are you gonna do then? Be completely depressed because you can't even sit with yourself? Girl, that's just sad. If you feel bad, go to that therapist, okay? Go to the therapist. If you can't afford the therapist, then literally journaling and just doing the shadow work is the best thing that you can do. Because you just need to understand yourself. For me, understanding myself is the best thing I could give myself. I started trying to understand myself when I was actually 12. The 12 is the year that I almost always bring. I didn't even figure it out why yet in my subconscious mind. But that was the time when I started being interested in psychology, when I started being interested in astrology. That was the time when everything in my life actually started to the point that I am here right now. Okay, so back to the hair, back to the weight, okay? You write down why are you feeling insecure. Literally look yourself in the mirror and on the picture of the younger you, okay? Look at her, look at yourself, and tell me, why are you insecure? Why are you insecure? Because if you will tell me that you feel insecure because you live in a place, okay, where maybe everyone is blonde and you feel insecure because you're not, you don't have to dye your hair. Literally, you can just leave that place and go to a place when there isn't that many blondes. And this isn't about the color of the hair. This is about the skin, guys. Okay? If you feel bad about something, you can just change that. You don't have to, cosplay Michael Jackson. Sometimes you have to change the environment, okay? You have to change the environment. Some plants won't grow as fast and as big in your house. You have to let them out. You have to let them out in your garden. And some of them won't grow as fast. And they won't be as beautiful and as big in this country. Maybe they need more sun. Maybe they need less sun. But stop, having the perspective that you have to be in that one country. You don't. If you hate that school, change that school. If you hate your house, change the house. If you hate your job, change the job. Change the job. But before you because some people, listen to all these advices on the internet, and then they just jump right in. Someone told me on the internet that I have to change my job. So I just fired myself. I just lose that job. And sometimes you subconsciously do things so you lose that job. But what I mean is that at first really understand yourself. You want to lose that job. You don't feel safe in your job. Okay, write it down. Why I don't feel safe in the job. Why I don't like this job. And now you know. Maybe they treat you badly. Maybe you just have to, talk too much in the job and you're more introverted person. Okay? Then you look for solution. Then you look for the solution. If you feel miserable in your place right now, then this is not your solution. Okay? To stop feeling insecure, you have to understand the core point of your own problem. Okay? Sometimes you feel insecure in that job because someone said something or act something like the same thing that happened in your life when you were 10. Maybe your dad told you something when you were 10 and now you're insecure to that point in your life still. I had to stop. I had to go through every single motherfucking diet to understand myself in the core of my problem. To finally understand that the core of my problem was that I wasn't able to don't finish the feed, some kind of fetish. So don't finish the food. In my household, it would be a crime to not finish the food. Okay, and I would put the things in my belly that I didn't like, and then I would puke, and then I would feel horrible, and I wouldn't let my house, because I just would feel horrible with myself that I just puked, that I just ate too much, that I just ate food that makes me feel bad in my stomach. Okay, not everyone digests the same things. For example, I had a problem with digesting paprika. Not everyone has the problem, but some people do. So then I would eat it, and then I would feel insecure every single time I go out. So I wouldn't even be able to be myself, and then I wouldn't be able to enjoy the experience. And because I wasn't able to enjoy the experience, then I was feeling even worse about myself when I would get back home, because then I would feel like I wasn't able to enjoy that experience because I'm just so shitty. I'm just so this. I'm just so that. No, girl. Everything started with that freaking paprika, and everything started when you were 12, when someone tell you have to eat that chicken. You have to finish that plate, because otherwise I will stop talking to you. And because I was lonely, for me that was the worst thing that someone could do to me. Stop talking to me, start ignoring me. And right now I got myself friends that no matter how weirdly I would act, they're still there. No matter how myself I would be, they just like me for me. And that's literally the environment that you have to get yourself into. If someone don't like you, then you just leave. I have the problems with a relationship, for example. No matter, if friends, romantic, that doesn't matter. I have the problem that, for example, risky text. Girl, in this world doesn't exist such a thing as a risky text. Okay? You know what it is? It's your subconscious mind telling you that if you send that risky text, that thing that you really want to send and tell to that person, then you're gonna show the real you. And what if they don't gonna like it? What if they won't like it? Then you're gonna feel shitty about yourself, right? Then you're gonna feel even more insecure. So girl, you write it down. After this video, write it down why you feel this way. Every single time you feel bad about yourself, you write this down. And then you write why you feel this way. And who made you feel that way? And then you go back to your childhood. When was the first time you remember you felt that way? And then I promise you, after some time, you're gonna start remembering even more. You're gonna start remembering your freaking childhood. Because, for example, I still don't remember like half of my childhood. Even more than I have. Just lately that I started doing the work, I started remembering things that happened to me. And you know what? I don't like them. I understand why my mind decides to forget them. They were terrible. I was crying myself to sleep because they were terrible. I was having nightmares. And that's the price that you're gonna take, that you're gonna make to heal yourself. Or you're gonna stay, lay in your bed, rotten, and do nothing. But as always, girl, I love you. Do the best. Okay? And we see each other the next time. You will need some help, okay? You're the best, okay? Listen to me. You're the best. And that's the exact thing you're gonna tell to yourself in the mirror today. You're the best. Say that to the girl, to the little girl inside you, because she also needs that. If there's anything, a point in your life, if there's a point in your life when you feel bad about yourself, just think about that little girl. Just think about that little girl. You already accomplished things, some things that you'll be proud of. Now you just have to keep going.